The Rams need to fix this week against the Colts in order to get the win, as well as more things the Rams have to fix as well, and 3 keys to victory and an injury report heading into tomorrow's matchup versus the Colts. All that and more on this episode of Rams Digest, and welcome back to another episode of Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Finehirsh. And before we head into today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 5K, 5,000 subscribers, and if you want to be a part of the journey, make sure to hit that sub button right now and click the notification bell, click all, so you get notified and never miss whenever we post our daily new Rams Digest video content covering all things Rams, so you do not miss a beat this regular season. And like this video right now, for Josh and I going live, we're back up tomorrow, hopefully at around 12:45, 12:50 p.m. Pacific time, just before game time at 1:05 p.m. But if you want the game on in the background as we talk about it, it will be on Fox 11 here locally in LA. If you're not in LA, make sure to check or the greater LA area, check your local listings so you can find the game in the proper way. But now we have to get into our main story of today, and it's really that the Rams need to diversify their offense heading into this week against the Colts. And this story is brought to us by a Ramblin' Fan, as we're going to head on into that right now. The good news is that the Los Angeles Rams have found incredible chemistry between wide receiver Puka Nacua and veteran quarterback Matthew Stafford this season. The bad news is LA has yet to match that same success with other receivers. It's not for a lack of trying. The same offense that has targeted Nacua 35 times through 3 games has targeted wide receiver Davante Adams 29 times. Yeah, I mean, Davante Adams is a newer player to this Rams team. Obviously, it's his first year. He's got a little over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. The chemistry's been fine. Again, Davante did have some drops in week 1 that were not on Stafford. Those drops are not characteristic for Davante. Those drops won't continue. They haven't continued into the next week. So I do see the chemistry getting better as the season improves. I don't really think Davante is the main problem, as we're going to get into here quite shortly. The results are not impressive, though. Stafford has only connected with Adams 13 times for a 44.8% completion rate. While the pair is connected for 213 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, there seems to be more efficient ways of getting yards, putting points on the scoreboard, and even moving the chains. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly right, for sure, that the 44.8 completion rate is not what you want to see, especially with a quarterback the level that Matthew Stafford's playing at. The level of receiver Davante Adams still is. He's not the best in the league like he used to be, but he's still quite good. And that this level is not what you want it to see. Again, I expect it to get better throughout the season. This is not the main problem. Davante Adams, we're going to get into this later on his status for the game. There's a bigger problem leading into this game for the Rams that the Rams do need to solve that I'm going to mention here coming up. As a result, the offense raises a bit of concern about the ability to distribute the football. Per the Athletics Rams beat writer Nate Atkins, the team is targeting wide receivers at a rate of 79% through the first 3 games. If that rate persists, it would result in the highest targeting rate of wide receivers by an NFL quarterback in 25 years. It's fine if it works and players stay healthy, but neither is likely. Yeah, I agree. It's more so the fact that it's not going to work, because again, Davante doesn't really have an injury history, and Puka, he has been getting hit a lot, which is a bit concerning, but I think it's more so this style is not going to work for any team, really. You need to have a balanced attack here in the modern NFL, the way defenses play, the way offensive coaches like a McVay and Andy Reid, not this year Andy Reid, but normally Andy Reid, but just how they can really change up their game plan, manipulate the defense so well, that if you're going to keep running similar plays, doing similar things, as we heard all offseason, the Rams want to diversify their offense, but yet that really hasn't been happening throughout these first few weeks. Again, the Texans and Eagles are elite defenses. I can understand that, but even against the Titans, I expected a little more, and against this Colts defense that's not great, I do think this is the week that they really need to start working on diversifying this offense for sure, because this is not sustainable, as the Athletic beat writer Nate Atkins clearly states. The Rams are relying far too heavily on wide receivers. The concerns of no rookie participation are not an attempt to over-dramatize the offensive strategy. If the offense burns out veterans too quickly early on in the season, it runs the risk of injury. Meanwhile, the backups have next to no experience in the offense come game day. And this is also just perfectly stated here. This is one of the main reasons why Josh and I were so high on Terrence Ferguson and guys like Jordan Whittington in the offseason. We really expected them to come in and not necessarily be number 1 players, but to be nice complementary pieces to really make sure this offense has balance, different styles, different flavors. And that has not happened just yet. I mean, Jordan Whittington, I have his stats here on the year. 4 catches, 49 yards, which, by the way, 49 yards is 3rd on the team in receiving, a drop from 213 to 49, over an 150-yard drop, which is definitely not what you want to see as a Rams fan. Tyler Higbee has 37 total yards receiving through 3 games. I get he's older, but he's healthy now. He should be your tight end 1, and Terrence Ferguson, nothing. He's barely played any even snaps at all. And again, we have some tight end questions coming into this game about who's available, which I'll get into later in the video, but if other tight ends are not available, it's so important that Terrence Ferguson is ready to step up. Even from the running game side, Jarquez Hunter, because Cody Schrader is now on the Jaguars. Even, we wish him the best of luck over there, obviously, but now that he's not here, you have 3 running backs, and you're using only 2 each game, which isn't as big of a deal to me, just because both of those 2 running backs are great, but I'd love to see Jarquez Hunter. You can't give him a carry here and there, just so that he's ready. I heavily agree with this, and it is a big problem here as the season goes on. The result of not using a proper rotational schedule in the offense leaves Los Angeles with injured veterans sitting on the bench while forcing backups onto the football field with no experience or confidence. Fixating on veterans early in the season is a strategy the Rams vowed to avoid this year. LA needs to build offensive momentum, but the same strategy of insisting on limiting the offense to a few contributors will place continuity at a greater risk. Veteran tight ends Tyler Higbee and Kobe Parkinson and wide receiver Devontae Adams are fighting through injuries already, and it's only week 4. Sadly, neither rookie tight end Terrence Ferguson nor rookie wide receiver Konate Mumpfield has touched the football this season. Yeah, I forgot to even mention Konate Mumpfield. Again, Mumpfield's a 7th round pick, so I understand that one a bit more. There's guys ahead of him on the depth chart, but Terrence Ferguson especially being your first pick of the draft in the 2nd round. And the Rams, I do remember vividly, they came out and said they would have picked him in the 1st round. If they could have, which they could have, but you know what I mean, that they knew he would be available, get an extra draft pick, trade made perfect sense. But what I'm saying is that if you're talking this highly about a guy that you draft, you need to put him out there on the field at some point. I'm not saying you give him 10 targets a game. Give him 3. Give him 3 targets to see what he does. Build him up. Josh and I were both saying it would take a few games for him to get fully integrated, but it's not like the Rams have really made an effort to integrate him into the offense really at all here, which really doesn't make sense because you used a high pick on him. Mumpfield being a 7th round pick makes sense, but both Josh and I liked the value there. A lot of you in the comments like the value, and a lot of analysts like the value. It seemed like a very liked pick, but yet they're not using him. Again, Xavier Smith's ahead of him too. Tutu Atwell. By the way, Tutu Atwell, $10 million, 4 yards. Again, I think that's also a Tutu problem, but again, Jordan Whittington is the guy who I'm going to keep pointing to. He's the guy who has the best route tree probably out of all these guys, the best blocker as well, which is something McVay really likes. Get the ball to Whittington. I know they've tried, and some of them have been called back by penalties, so not all on McVay or Whittington, but it's definitely a real problem heading into this game against a 3-0 team, a team none of us really thought would be 3-0, but hey, here they are, 3-0. They're motivated. They should be. They've had an amazing start to the year. You know, Indiana Jones, I loved as much as anybody, but the Rams, this is a real test for them, a shocking test for them, really, here early on in the year, that this is kind of turning into a must-win game after the collapse against the Eagles. You need to see this team respond, and by diversifying the offense is the way to do it. General manager Les Snead made it a point to add offensive weapons to the roster in the 2025 NFL Draft, but until they play and contribute, they truly add nothing. While there is plenty of time left in the season, the time required to get a rookie up to speed in this offense is significant as well. So the longer the delay to get a rookie active in the offense, the bigger the delay for his development. Yeah, again, this is well said. It makes perfect sense. The only way guys develop is playing. Look at the Giants, for example. Russell Wilson wasn't necessarily having a great year. Yeah, and now bringing Jackson Dart, the fan base is revitalized. Again, a different situation. The Giants are clearly still a rebuilding team. We hope they get out of that rebuild soon and be good, because I love it when new teams are good, but consistently. But here for the Rams team, you're trying to win, and I understand that. But giving Terrence Ferguson 3 targets a game, I keep saying that number 3 makes sense. It just adds more to the offense. It doesn't take away from Higbee's production. It doesn't take away from Puka. It's like, all right, we have a new guy here. Let's slowly get him involved, because what if Higbee retires after this year? Higbee, if he does retire, we appreciate his services, but if he does retire, you don't leave with confidence that Terrence Ferguson's ready to be a starter. Are you going to add a veteran to start for another year while he develops more? When he kept saying how great he was at spreading the middle of the field? It doesn't make too much sense. Again, even with Jarquez Hunter, the guy I picked in the 4th round, he looked awesome in the preseason. Give him a couple carries a game. Like, he's not a big fumbler. Like, he knows how to run the football. Like, just give him more of a shot here. Like, I really think this is necessary as this season goes on. Because if you lose this game, you're 2-2. You're going to be tied for last with the Cardinals. Because the Seahawks beat them, they're 3-1. Even if the Niners lose this week, they're 3-1. So in the division, you're going further down too, whereas not too long ago, you were tied for first. So it's definitely important to get these issues figured out. The Rams defense managed to find significant contributors because they were thrown into the heat of battle as rookies and learned to thrive in NFL competition. It's not a secret ingredient or a magic trick. Rookies need experience. The offense needs to spread the football around at a much better rate going forward. But the question is, will that happen anytime soon? And the answer to that question here, Ramblin' fan, is I hope it does. I really hope it does. I'm not saying, again, I'm going to keep saying it. You don't need to throw it to 10 different people every game. Throw it to more than 2 or 3. Like, you can't throw it to 5 or 6. Like, you look at a normal game box where you see, 6 people got targeted. That's pretty normal. Rams, you'll see 2 or 3 guys getting the majority of the targets, which you always see. But, like, you see other guys getting 2 catches, 3 catches, just adding on to the offense. You don't see that really with the Rams. And comment down below right now. What are your thoughts on this? Because I think this is an issue that could really plague them throughout the entire season if they do not fix it right here, right now. And that's the main thing they have to fix. But Turf Showtimes also went into a couple other things the Rams need to patch over, and we will get into that right now. Lost somewhere in the translation of allowing 2 field goals to be blocked, there's been almost no discussion about how the Rams gave up 26 points in the second half of their loss to the Eagles of Week 3. Of course, we can call the last touchdown allowed on the blocked field goal as a fluky score, but LA's defense allowed the Eagles offense to score 3 touchdowns in the second half. That's a lot of touchdowns. The scoring drives, 79 yards in less than 3 minutes, 87 yards in a little over 6 minutes, 91 yards in 6 minutes to take the lead. Yeah, that's not great. Again, I don't think that this is not where my concerns are heading into this game against the Colts. I don't see the Rams defense playing like this again. Again, the Rams, we're not the Ravens. We don't have a history of blowing large leads. Sorry, Ravens fans, but you do right now. And for this, it's not something where I'm like, we lost to a bad team. Like, if we give up this lead to the Titans, I'd be like, what are we doing? What are we doing? That was the Eagles, a Super Bowl champion, a clear top 10 team in the NFL. As of right now, you could put them in the top 5 if you want to, after one elite half and other halves being a little above average. But still, besides the point, they're a Super Bowl champion. You got to give them the respect they deserve. And with this, the Rams, you don't want this Colts offense that we talked about in the last few videos, just how great they've been. Only 1 punt. And you don't want this defense to get walked up and down the field by the Colts, because then that defense is going to be tired. They're going to keep letting up points. Again, I think the Rams can score on this defense, but you don't want to get into a shootout with this Colts team because they look awesome so far on the offensive side. So do the Rams need to fix their field goal operation? Yes. Again, that was, I think, more of a fluke. Again, we did see that the Colts have blocked kicks this year, but again, I don't see 3 in a row getting. If Josh McCarty and the unit struggles again, we may need to look in a different direction. I don't know that for sure. But do the Rams need to spread the ball around more to just Puka Nacua and Davante Adams? Yes. Oh yeah. We talked about this in length already. Yes. Do the Rams need to get better at cornerback? Yes. Again, we've talked about many different names available. The Rams have not yet said whether they'll add some of those names, but it's definitely something to look into. And does Sean McVay need to reevaluate his trust in certain veterans and up the ante on other options? Maybe. It's not reevaluate the trust. It's just reevaluate how you use them and how the offense works overall. It's not a lack of trust. That's the issue. It's not I don't trust Davante. It's not that I don't trust Higbee. It's that I don't trust Kyren. It's that we have other options. And that the Rams need to use some of those other options to the fullest of their ability. And do the Rams need to make a trade before the deadline? Possibly, yeah. For a corner, most likely, for sure. But all of those questions can get answered on Sunday against the Colts and have those narratives shift for Emmanuel Forbes, Bo Limmer, and Terrence Ferguson just as quickly as the story has changed for Jalen Hurts. Again, Emmanuel Forbes has been decent this year. It's not an Emmanuel Forbes issue. Again, Terrence Ferguson, I think it's just more of a McVay's way that a lot of rookies don't really play for him rather than the Ferguson not being good. Yeah, the Bo Limmer thing is narrative. I'm sorry, I've never been a big Bo Limmer guy. That narrative, it's going to take more than 1 game to change for me. I do think maybe they need an extra offensive lineman and try to get Bo Limmer out, just because I feel like every time he goes against top competition, does not necessarily go well for him. But comment down below your biggest issue out of these 3. To me, I'm going to say it is spreading the ball more to just Puka and Davante. That's the biggest issue. And now we have 3 keys for the Rams to win the game here, brought to us from therams.com, which we will get into right now. We've got to limit Jonathan Taylor's impact. Coming after his 2nd consecutive AFC Offensive Player of the Week award, Taylor's NFL best 338 rushing yards are more than 17 different teams entering Week 4. Just as with Barkley last week, bottling up Taylor will be crucial to slowing down Indianapolis' high-scoring offense. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Saquon was not great against the Rams last week. The Rams were awesome at stopping Saquon throughout that was the one good thing about the defense in the second half, is that they were still able to bottle up Saquon so well. And with Taylor, you're going to have to do that, because we saw it in the 1 year Daniel Jones made the playoffs in New York. Saquon being good allowed Daniel Jones to be a little more free and confident passing the ball, and he had his best passing season of his career. And now he's for sure having the best passing season of his career so far over there in Indianapolis, being Indiana Jones. But I'm the key to the game. If you can stop Jonathan Taylor, can maybe get some pressure on Daniel Jones, make him too pass happy. He hasn't had a turnover yet. Again, in his best passing season, he only threw 5 picks. So we know in his peak he does not turn the ball over, but maybe the Rams can force one here, get some pressure on him a little bit there as well. 2, stay disciplined with the pass rush lanes and in the secondary. Quarterback Daniel Jones, 59.6% success rate on dropbacks against the blitz, is second best in the NFL per next-gen stats, compared to 40.9% in his 6 seasons with the Giants. So he's handling extra rushers better than any point in his career. 71.6 completion percentage, which would be a single-season career best if it sustains. Shows he's also been accurately throwing the ball, too. The Colts offensive line has had a say in that as well, with a 32.3% pressure rate allowed. That ranks 10th lowest in the NFL. Yeah, the O-line, we talked about it. They've been absolutely awesome so far for this Colts team. Obviously, Quentin Nelson, all-world, not going to get past him. But the other guys is really where you have to try to figure out who is that weak line. We talked about Bortolini at center in a couple videos ago. I did, as a guy who can potentially be rushed on. I think that's the guy that you're going to have to really target if you're this Rams front 7 and defensive line, because this O-line has been awesome so far throughout the entire season. For defensive coordinator Chris Shula and Los Angeles' pass rush, being strategic about those blitzes and connecting on them will be just as important as the secondary playing stout coverage with playmakers like wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. and rookie tight end Tyler Warren. Yeah, Michael Pittman Jr., USC guy, California guy, he's coming home. I'm sure he'll have some family in the stands as well. He's going to be extra motivated, so you got to guard him. And Tyler Warren, awesome at Penn State for multiple years. He's been awesome through 3 weeks. I expected it. He is so versatile. You got to be ready for him at any level of the offense. And last but not least, smooth operations in the red zone and on field goals. After 3 blocked field goal attempts in the last 2 weeks, and also settling for field goals near the red zone last week, the Rams will need better execution on both fronts against a high-powered Colts offense that has scored 33, 29, and 41 points through its first 3 games. They cannot afford to leave points off the board. Yeah, I fully agree with this. Again, the 33 and 41 are against the Dolphins and Titans, so take that with a grain of salt. But the 29 on the Broncos, is that one is still quite impressive, and this offense is for sure high-powered. And leave in the comments down below right now your key to victory for the Rams. To me, it is limiting Jonathan Taylor on the defensive end, and on the offensive end, it is all about spreading the football more. Now we have to get real quick into this injury report here. So, the injury report for tomorrow's game. On it, we have Rob Havenstein's questionable with an ankle, but it looks like he's going to play based on reports I've seen. Tight end Colby Parkinson is still questionable with a shoulder injury. Tyler Higbee added to the injury report this week, questionable with a hip injury. Devontae Adams questionable with a hamstring. It looks like he's good to go as well based on reports, but we'll have to see. And obviously Witherspoon is on IR. So that is the injury report right now. And the reason why I keep talking about spreading the ball is because if Devontae and Higbee can't go, this is Terrence Ferguson and Jordan Whittington's season this game. It's time for them to come out there, show what they can do, and hopefully they're ready for it. Because as the Ramblin' Fan article said, it is a bit concerning that they're not getting the reps that they should be at this point in the year. But that is all for this episode of Rams Digest. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. We are on the road to 5K, 5,000 subscribers. If you want to be part of the journey, hit that notification bell, click the sub button, click all on notifications so you get notified and never miss whenever we post our daily new Rams Digest video content covering all things Rams so you do not miss a beat this regular season. Like this video right now for week 4 underway tomorrow. Like this video right now for the stream tomorrow. Josh and I hope to go live at around 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. We'll see you there for that tomorrow. Spam it up in chat. Comment down below whether you'll be there. Comment down below, what are your thoughts on the Rams distributing the ball more on offense? I think it's important. And comment down below right now, what is your key to victory for the Rams? For me, it is stopping Jonathan Taylor on offense and spreading on defense and spreading the ball more on offense. I've been your host, Joshua Finehirsh, as always. Thank you very much for watching another episode of Rams Digest. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon for another one. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow for our game live stream.